Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. We are back with yet another championship predictions, and let's hope that all the storm troubles have gone away, and hopefully we shall see a full 12 out of 12 fixtures in this game week, the midweek game week. Guys, before I jump in, please do hit that like button and also help us out. Please do subscribe to the channel. It does help us out so much. So please do so. Let's waste no more time then. Let's jump straight into these fixtures, and we come on to Preston versus Nottingham Forest. This is going to be a really good game. Let's just start that off. I think it's going to be a great fixture. Preston North End did lose at the weekend, but it was their first defeat. The previous 6 games, they haven't been defeated. They've come up against a Nottingham Forest team that are also in good form, obviously having great cup success as well. And their fixture against Bournemouth was called off due to Storm Eunice. But Nottingham Forest will be looking to create a storm of themselves up north this midweek fixture. And I do think Nottingham Forest, although it's going to be a very close game, will pick up a narrow 2-1 away victory, especially when you consider how determined they're going to be after a lot of the teams around them in and around the playoffs did pick up wins in the Saturday fixtures. So I think they'll be well rested and raring to go. We come on to Swansea versus Bournemouth, and Swansea had an absolute terrible defeat at the weekend, a 4-0 loss to Sheffield United. It was a real shambles, wasn't it, to be honest? Sheffield United looked really good, I will say that, but Swansea should have performed much better. Bournemouth's game was, of course, called off. I've already spoken previous predictions about how much they strengthened in January, the depth in their squad. They should really be looking to push on now, and there'll probably be a bit of a buzz about the place, especially considering that Fulham's lost to Huddersfield at the weekend. Bournemouth may be looking to get that go up as champions now. I do think they'll get the win against Swansea, and I am going to go for a 2-0 prediction. I think they'll just have too much for Swansea, unfortunately, for the Swansea fans. Coming on to the Hull Tigers versus Barnsley, and Barnsley will be absolutely gutted after their defeat. I did say on my previous predictions, they picked up a massive win in their previous game, but it's looking such a mammoth task now to change things if you're at Barnsley. Hull are sitting in 20th position, but have double the points that Barnsley have. So it does show the task that is on hand and really just how far they've been off it this season, when in the previous season they had performed so well, getting into the playoffs. The one thing that will give Barnsley fans a bit of a, maybe we could get something here is, of course, Hull haven't really been scoring. They haven't been scoring that many. They've not been conceding many either, though. It does have to be said. But, of course, their top scorer is the young lad, Lewis Potter. Unreal talent. But he does just have 7 goals to his this season, which shows where the problems are lying for Hull. I am going to say, though, that Hull will get a narrow 1-0 victory at home against Barnsley. Coming on to Bristol City versus Coventry, and I've just spoke about Hull's problems in scoring. That's something that Bristol City don't have. They actually sit 5th in terms of goals scored this season. So you really can see where the problems lie for Bristol City. Unfortunately, talking to Bristol City fans, there's a kind of feeling that once again, the best players will be offloaded in the summer. It's a real shame, because maybe if they could keep their attacking strength and obviously add defensively, they would be looking to move up higher up the table next season. Unfortunately, this season, I mean, I don't see them going down, of course, but I don't think they've got a chance of going up either. On the other hand, Coventry will be uplifted. They got a big win on Saturday to lift them up to 10th position, now just 3 points away from the playoffs, and you'll say that their promotion dream is very much on. This is going to be a tight game. I am going to go 2-1 Coventry. I'm going to listen to my head. 2-1 Coventry on this one. I'm going to go for an away win. It is going to be a very close game, though. Coming on to Middlesbrough versus West Brom, and you could argue that neither team are having a great time, both being defeated at the weekend. But let's talk about Steve Bruce. It is really not going well for him. West Brom are now sitting in 11th position. Wow, you can see the job that he's got on his hands now. He's been brought in to he was probably brought in not even just to get them into the playoffs. He was probably brought in with the pretense of get them up and maybe back into the top 2. That seems a long way away now. And the way that they're performing, I really can't see them even getting into the playoffs this season. Middlesbrough are at home, and I haven't predicted a home win, but this will be my first. Actually, I did pick Hull to win, so that's rubbish. But I will go for a 2-0 Middlesbrough win here. I really do feel that things aren't going well at West Brom, and you could even see a second manager being pushed out by the fans if things don't change quickly. Coming on to Reading versus Blues, and Reading got a massive win at the weekend. Of course, conceding 2, it does mean that they are now officially the team in the league that has conceded the most goals. I think it's 62 goals conceded now this season. But last week, that weekend, that wouldn't have mattered. The 3-2 win was all that mattered. It was really important, especially with Derby getting their win. It keeps Reading still obviously in 21st position, but they do have a 5-point gap on those below them. Birmingham, on the other hand, you know, it's one of those, isn't it, for Birmingham? They're not going to go up. They're not going to go down. Blues have conceded 2 goals in 5 of their last 6 fixtures. So to me, based off the 2 teams on the defending stats, I do think there's going to be goals in this. I really do. And I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, which I think is my first draw prediction of this prediction video. Sheffield United versus Blackburn next in what is an absolute massive fixture for both teams. Sheffield United are going to be absolutely buzzing after their 4-0 victory at the weekend against Swansea City. Look, I mean, it was an absolute superb performance from the on-loan signing Morgan Gibbs-White. 2 goals and 1 assist in that game. Him coming back from injury has really gave them a bit of an uplift, along obviously the managerial change that happened in November. And they really now are pushing on. They're in form and looking to probably push into those playoff positions come the end of the season. Of course, a lot of teams are, though, and that's what makes the Championship such an exciting a league, doesn't it, to be honest? One of the teams that is in the playoffs at the moment, Blackburn Rovers, but their form really does need to pick up if they're going to stay there. Unfortunately, their fixture against Millwall got called off at 2:15 p.m. It's really unfortunate when that happens. You know, it's not considering the fans, both the home and the away fans, because they would have been making their journey to the ground, if not even in the ground, or looking to get in the ground at that point. This is going to be a really good fixture. I'm going to go for yet another draw. I'm going to say this will be a 1-1 draw on this fixture. Coming on to Fulham versus Peterborough, and there's no prizes really for prediction which way I think this will go. Peterborough had a red card. It was such a fiery game against Derby, both teams going down to 10 men, but they were on the unfortunate side of the Derby last-minute victory, really, in stoppage time. Fulham, on the other hand, are on just such great form, aren't they, at the moment? They're looking to just pull away, continue pulling away from those below them, the rest of the league. And I do think this has got only a Fulham win written all over it, especially Fulham being the home team. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. I think they'll continue with a goal-scoring record. Well, I've just spoke about both Derby and Millwall. Of course, Millwall had their game called off against Blackburn at 2:15. Derby, on the other hand, they had such a superb day. The only thing that would have probably took a bit of that sweetness away is, of course, Reading getting a victory themselves. But it does now put Derby into 22nd position, 5 points away from Reading. They've had massive point deductions, and I think the dream, the great escape for them is really on, and it's something that they'll be looking to want to push on get at home to Millwall. Of course, they're getting fantastic attendances as well at the moment. I do think Derby will win this. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Derby win. Millwall have been in good form, though. Millwall have won the last 2 before the fixture got called off. Maybe I am getting a bit invested into the Derby story with that prediction, listening to my heart over my head, but it's a Derby win. I've predicted it now. Coming on to QPR versus Blackpool. Look, a QPR, 4 games without a win now. No clean sheet in the last 5 if you also include their cup run. Going out in the cup to Peterborough, I believe it was. Blackpool, on the other hand, have scored in all of the last 6 games. So I'm definitely not going to predict a clean sheet here, because everything's telling me that, unfortunately for QPR fans, there is going to be goals in this one on both sides. QPR are the home team, and I am going to go for a narrow win for QPR, 2-1. Even though form doesn't suggest that QPR are going to win, they really do need to start picking up if they want to hold on to their playoff position. But I do think they'll start this midweek. We come on to Stoke versus Luton Town. Luton Town now, who got a massive win against West Brom, didn't they, at the weekend? 2 points off the playoffs. Their playoff dream will be on. They come against the Stoke team, who now sitting 6 points away from the playoff positions. They only managed to get a draw, obviously, in the Saturday fixtures. The one thing that Stoke fans will probably be uplifted about is the previous time that these two guys played. It was a 1-0 victory to Stoke. And I'm going to repeat that exact fixture prediction. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Stoke win here, especially with Stoke being the home team. I think this is our last prediction, our last team and last fixture to predict. Huddersfield Town, who will be absolutely buzzing after their victory against, after their victory against Fulham. It was a big win for them, and it was. I'm sure it's something which will carry massive confidence. They come up against the Cardiff City team, who they've kind of been in good form, to be honest. They didn't get the result they wanted at the weekend, but they have been on very good form. I think they'd won 4 of the last 5 before that, so had been on really good form before the weekend. This is going to be a close game, but I think there'll be such a buzz around Huddersfield at the moment, especially with them being at home, having the fans there. And I am going to go for a Huddersfield Town win 1-0. I'm glad I left all my fumbles to the end of the video, guys. But please, as I do say, please do make sure to hit that like button. Please do subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I shall see you on the next predictions video. Goodbye.